Grand thing when they took that discipline away from us, because when they made our parents afraid to discipline the children, then what happened? We found out that the teachers were afraid of the principals were scared of the superintendents was scared of the school board was scared of the parents were scared of the children, and the children ain't scared of nobody.
All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost with giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakach. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you the spirit with a quick lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. And right here, this right here, what you're seeing is a result of, the world that we're seeing in, as far as the schools and the way the children behave nowadays, is strictly due to the fact that there's no discipline. Okay, there's no discipline. The children do not, get their ass beat. There's no fear instilled in the children. So then you have these children that do whatever the hell they want, and they're not afraid of nobody. And that's exactly what she said. And fear translates into respect. That's what it translates into. And we're not talking about the type of fear that you're so afraid that you think somebody's gonna kill you or hurt you, but it's the fear of, I know that this person don't play that, so I'm going to respect them. And that's something that this society has trained the parents and the children that it's not necessary, to discipline your children. And look at what has happened in the last 30 years, that discipline has been taken out of the home. So I'm gonna start off with a quick precept. This is Proverbs 13 and 24, and it says, this is Proverbs chapter 13, and it says, he that spareth, 13 verse 24, and it says, he that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth his son chastise and betimes, which means you chastising his ass often. Okay, and that is necessary to instill fear and correction into your child. Now, when you take the chastening away, you take the possibility of an ass whooping at the young age away, then you remove the governors from your child to make them listen and obey and consider their actions. And this is why you see a lot of little jakes out here that are emotional. You see jakes out here that have no respect for any type of authority. Well, because the male in their life, they were raised by a bunch of unruly ass women who didn't instill these things into them. Okay? And as you can even see in that video, we'll play it again because it's a short video. Look who's all standing. The damn same bitches that told the man that they can't discipline their child. You see, this just shows you why women, and it's a different topic for a different day, but why women can't be any level of rulership, because they're all a bunch of hypocrites. It's these same old bitches right here that made it, that obeyed the system and didn't discipline their children, right, are the ones standing up, clapping. But then you gonna go home and let your child do whatever the fuck he want. My wife was telling me yesterday, my rib, we were sitting here talking, and we were actually talking about this subject, about how, when you don't discipline your children, what ends up happening is they become very disrespectful. And she was telling me about a time she was at a grocery store, and it was an Edomite family. And there was an Edomite mom who was calling on her son. and she told me, I thought this shit was funny as hell. She was like, come here, sweetie. Sweetie, come here. Come. This is how the Edomite mom is talking to her son. Come here, sweetie. Sweetie, come here. Come here, son. Come here, sweetie. And then the Edomite boy says, shut the fuck up, mom. Right in the store. Right in the store. And I just thought it was hilarious because it's no respect for this woman. Now, when you go back to this precept, it says he. He didn't say her. It says he that spareth his rod hateth his son. So it's up to the man. The man is the disciplinary. But where's the man at? The man isn't in the home, okay? This is Proverbs 24:15. And it says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive him far from it. You see that? So, children are inclined to do stupid shit. But when you beat their ass, it makes them say, nah, I can't do that. They start associating pain with the action. It's the same as putting, getting your hand burned on the stove. The stove don't look hot because you done turned it off. But then when you touch the eye, the little metal on top of the stove, you burn yourself. And you realize, hey, you know what? I got to be careful because if I touch this damn stove when it's hot like that, it could potentially burn me. All right? So and it's the same with disciplining your child. You want to put yourself in a position to where you discipline your child consistently. You always on their ass about stuff. Not in a manner in which that's like you become a forceful roaring lion, but in a manner in which to where, with my son, for instance, yeah, I beat his ass, but I'll sit down and talk to him and explain to him why I'm whooping his ass. Like, this is why, yesterday, for instance, just giving a little example, I had to get on my children yesterday because their mom told them that they can't eat a certain snack. Well, as soon as she left, and I was there because, I'm a little bit more lenient with mom because it don't take that much for me to control them. Not to mention, I understand that they're boys, so boys are just going to do things. And, there's a line that you have to be able to let them do, certain stuff as boys, especially when it comes to running around. So they're a little bit more lenient with them, than their mom is. Their mom is always on them because they're more inclined to run over her than me, right? So she left, and immediately after she left, my youngest and my oldest, they go into the cabinet and they grab the snack that she told them that they can't have. Well, as soon as I find out, I beat their ass, and then I explained to them, and not in an abusive way. It's more in a chastising way, And then I sit them down and I explain to them. I say, hey, your mom told you couldn't have this, right? And they say, yeah. So what makes you think that just because she left that you can have it, And they, I'm sorry. And now you can't have the snack. Now you go over there and you sit down, okay? And your snack just gonna sit there and get stale because I'm not touching it, right? But next time something like that happens, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, hey, Dad, could I have this snack? And I'm gonna say no. What did your mom say? And they say she said no. But now they at least are not gonna make that same mistake again. Okay, now if I would have just let them do it with no type of punishment, now that little small seed that was planted can branch off into other things. Okay, well, if I got away with this, then I can get away with this. If I can get away with this, I can get away with this. Okay. All right. So next we're gonna go to 16:11. Let's go to 16:11. Oops. Salakia, there we go. You know what? Let me just pull it up on my phone. Salakia. So we're gonna go to Ecclesiastes 30. And 1, and it says, he that loveth his son, chastening him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. Okay? It's like, you grew up and your son grew up and now you can actually have a conversation with your son. You can talk to him about manly things, things of that nature. Versus a badass little nigga. You can't even talk to her. Remember what she said? She said, the children ain't scared of nobody. Remember the story I just told you, the child, shut the fuck up, mom. Imagine how they talking to the dad, too. They talking to the mom like that, even if the dad is even around. And remember, it says it is the man's responsibility to instill discipline among the child. Because women don't have any discipline, all right? Verse 3, it says, he that chastening his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice among his acquaintance. Yeah, you know, hey son, how you doing? It's good to see you. You know, come sit down. Let's sit down and have a drink. You know, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Yeah, this is my son. This is my pride and joy right here, man. This boy is a reflection of me. Okay, and that is pretty much that's pretty much you know, what men want to be able to say about their child in the latter years. Okay, when the child gets older, all right, and in the world that we live in right now, you know, you're taught not to discipline your child. Okay, and you know, let me grab this precept. Let me look for it. The Lord chastise. I don't know exactly where this precept is, but yeah, here it is. Hebrews 2:12-6. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chastening, and scourges every son whom he receiveth. So, you know, when the Lord loves you, right, he chastises you. Okay? When the Lord loves you, he's going to discipline you, and he's going to correct you. And it's the same with a child. If a man truly loves his child, he's going to discipline his child, and he's going to put his child in his place. Now, of course, you're going to have a whole bunch of wicked-ass women that are going to try to hinder you from disciplining your child, because that's what they do. You know, women are one of the biggest hindrances of a man actually raising his child properly. Okay. Execution finished. There's no amount loaded. You know, so again, when you go back to this video, everybody talking.
I learned a lot about women.
They did a grand thing when they took that discipline away from us, because when they made our parents afraid to discipline the children,
and it be those nigga women right there who now coming into coming into, you know, understanding. Now they want to sit there and say, well, you know, they messed up. Bitch, hold up, wait a minute. We've been telling y'all that we need to be, you know, and to discipline our children. I remember watching a video not too long ago. There was a man and a woman, and the man was disciplining his children, and the woman came and said, well, I don't want you disciplining my children like that. I don't want you hitting them. I don't want you. And he said, listen, I know these children because they're my children. They're my DNA. They're mine. And I know that I was the type of man that was very, very difficult. I was bad as hell. I was very difficult to deal with when I was a young man. And when these children end up in prison, okay, remember I told you, and that's exactly what happened to his children. Most of them ended up in jail. And he was like, I told you. And for men, especially, you know, men, and it's not that we don't love our children, and it's not that we don't want to be a part of our children's lives. But when you're in a situation where you got women hindering you from taking care of your children, you understand, well, first of all, you know, I ain't got no power. And secondly, you know, according to the scriptures, your children ain't really yours in this world anyway, man. Okay? And that's another thing, too. And this is why everybody's able to do everything to their child except you. To your child except you as a man. All right? And it really takes a woman, a woman that's from the Lord, in order for you to actually raise your children in today's day and age, because, you know, these women, they fight against you at every turn to take your children out of your life and out of your possession and out of your discipline and your control, so you can raise them to be, you know, godly men in a society of ungodliness. Okay, so when you're not able to chastise your child, okay, you leave your child open to be able to do whatever the hell they want. All right, and that's destructive. All right, so, you know, I just wanted to do a quick video on that. I'm going to end it off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodash. Until the next time, I say Shalom.